Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video and I wanted to start this channel in order to share my pregnancy journey. So if this isn't for you, you don't have to watch. If you are going through the same thing as me and you're becoming a young mom, keep watching. If you're interested, keep watching. I'm gonna do a story time video where I'm basically gonna be telling you guys how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my family. So let's jump to it. Story time. So I came back from vacation in the summertime. I want to say it was late August because I was kind of getting ready to get into the swing of school coming around. And when I came home from summer vacation from being in Florida, I just kind of stopped taking my birth control, not altogether, but like every other day or something I would forget, or every 2-3 days I would just forget to take it. So if you're a girl, you know that at that point it's not really working for you. So yep, I was having unprotected sex because, you know, my smart ass thought I was on birth control and it was cool. And one thing led to another and I missed my period for 2 weeks. Mine was always pretty regular, and just did not come at all. So, had to take a test. Took a test, it was negative, said cool, continued with my life, did the things I always did, went out, hung out, you know, kept it cool. I'm 20 years old, so I was having fun. And you know, I'm like, alright, still haven't got my period. It's like 3 days after I took this negative test. Still haven't got my period. What's going on? So I wait a little bit longer. I'm like Googling stuff, you know, trying to self-diagnose what could be going on. Why don't I have my period yet? And I was like, okay, this is driving me crazy. I have to take another test. I bought a more expensive one this time around because I bought like a cheap one the first time. It was like a, I don't know, clear blue. I don't know. This time around I took like one of those pink first response. I don't think it matters how expensive the test is. I think now that I am pregnant and I've done so much research on my body, it's that my HCG levels, which is the pregnancy hormone, wasn't high enough the first time because it was too early to detect it in my urine. So the second time I took it around, peed on the stick, I was pregnant, came out positive. So me and my boyfriend are, you know, pretty open with each other. You should be with your mans. So I told him, hey, I think I'm pregnant. So I bought the test with him both times and took it at his house both times. And we kind of just sat together and waited. So yeah, I'm pregnant. I showed him the test. I'm pregnant. And he was kind of just like, okay, you're pregnant. Wasn't sad. Wasn't, I guess, excited. I mean, we're young, we're 20 years old, so it wasn't like, oh my god, yeah, you're pregnant, we were trying for a baby. It was like, okay, well, you're pregnant, we both work, you know, I go to school, we aren't in high school, we're not 16, and again, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that, but we were in a better place. We are in a better place. It's not like I already have the baby and I'm all Gucci. We are in a better place than most young parents. I'm very grateful that I have an awesome family that wants to help in every possible way, and same with his family. They are so deeply connected with us and they want to help in every way that they can. In fact, as soon as we found out I was pregnant, which is going into the second topic, is, you know, how I told my loved ones, I told his mom first out of everyone. If you know me, I have 3 other siblings. I have 2 sisters and a little brother. Obviously, I'm not going to tell my little brother first. But yeah, I didn't tell my older sisters either first. I told Robbie's mom found out first. We were basically just sitting in his room, and I ended up saying, we should just call her and we should just tell her, because I would feel more comfortable telling somebody already, because I just wanted to get it off my chest. My biggest concern at this point was, how am I going to tell my family? How am I going to tell my parents? Because my parents are so old-fashioned, Polish, and you got to get married, you got to have a diploma, you have to have a full-time job if you want to bring a baby into this world. That's how my parents are. I totally respect that. That's probably how I'm going to be as a parent. But yeah, I was just terrified, completely terrified telling my parents, as I think any 20-year-old college student would be terrified and telling their parents that. So I told his mom, because she's super cool and I knew she wouldn't crucify me. So we called his mom, and she was like, okay, well, have you guys thought about what you want to do? And we were like, yeah, we want to keep it. So, yep, when are you coming home? And she was like, well, I'm on my way home right now. When I get there, we'll talk. So she got home maybe 10-15 minutes after that phone call, and we just talked. We kind of cried a little bit, and not sad tears, oh my god, our lives are over, but just kind of it's a big change. So we just cried, and Rob was probably at the corner of the bed, not even listening, playing video games. But that's life. Guys don't really get emotional for those types of things until it's real. But it's real. So yeah, after that, his mom was probably the easiest person to tell. I told my older sister, and she kind of freaked out, which is normal. It's not only a change in your life, it's a change in all the people's, lives around you, especially since I live at home. My siblings still live at home because they're college students, and they're taking the smart route, and it's going to affect them too. They're living with me. They're going to hear this baby crying in the middle of the night. Obviously, that's not the first thought when you tell someone, hey, I'm pregnant, but just disappointed in your younger sibling. So yeah, I had to deal with that, and she was basically just how are you going to tell mom and dad? This is going to be so hard on them. And that kind of scared me even more, but I can't say it scared me to the point where I haven't already been. I was already petrified of telling my parents. So I was at Rob's house with his mom, and his sister came over. His older sister came over. She's awesome. I love her. She came over with her baby, and we were kind of just all hanging out in the living room, and we were talking about the baby, because babies are so fun to talk about. What else would you talk about if you're pregnant? We were kind of just talking about how I'm going to tell my parents, and I just kept insisting that I can't do it because I am terrified. And I just asked them, do you think it's okay if I call my mom and tell her? So that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, I guess you can say I didn't have the balls, or in better words, I didn't have the strength to tell my mom in person, because I didn't want to die, and realistically, I just didn't want to deal with her reaction in person, because it would have been, names and just the whole 9 yards if, you have religious, old-fashioned parents, I don't think I need to explain. And if you don't, I don't think I need to go into detail either, because it's pretty self-explanatory. I told my mom, and she basically said, "You're kidding me," and said, "I don't want to talk to you," and hung up the phone. So, better reaction than I was anticipating, but it is what it is. I respected that she didn't want to talk to me. And then I guess later that night, I was texting my sisters, and I was basically just like, what's happening at home, like what's being said, because I wasn't there. I was at Rob's. I was way too scared to come home. And yeah, my sister told me that my dad was in his room crying. So that really hit me super hard, because I'm a big daddy's girl, and I think that was kind of the hardest part of telling my parents, because I knew how disappointed the both of them would be, and that really broke my heart. So my dad, I think, ended up calling me that night. So me and him are pretty close. We have been forever. And he called me, and he was just like, "Is this true?" And I said, "I think so, yeah, but, I still have to go see a doctor so they could 100%, make sure I'm positively pregnant." So I was like, "Yeah, I still have to make an appointment and, check to make sure that I am, but pretty sure I'm pregnant," because I took like 2-3 tests after I took that second one that was positive. I took like 2 more, because they come in the box, and they all were positive. So I was like sending pictures to my dad. I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." So he was like, "Okay," he was like, "All right, well, one step at a time. You have to make an appointment, and we have to deal with it." So that was that. My mom still wasn't talking to me. I think it was like a day or two that my mom wasn't talking to me. And then I came home. It was kind of awkward, but my parents like took me into my room and kind of just got the whole rundown. Like, what about school? What about how we raised you? What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? We can only support you for so long. We have other kids, so we have finances to help you guys, but only for so long. Like, we just have this whole conversation. And yeah, I mean, looking back at it now, it's like, why was I so scared? I mean, it's obviously obvious why I was so scared. Imagine putting yourself in those shoes. But now it's like so weird, because we have a finished basement at my house. So my brother took my old room, and my brother's old room is like closer to the basement. It's like weird. My house is weird. Okay. My brother's old room is closer to the basement. It's like right up the stairs from the basement. So that's an empty room right now, and that's gonna be like the baby's extra room. But because we have a finished basement, me and Rob have like a bedroom, a bathroom, and a living room here. And there's more than enough room for a crib and a baby to live down here. So it worked out. My parents made it work. They bought us brand new furniture, which I'm pretty hyped about, because, later on when we do have enough finances for our own apartment, we're not going to have to go crazy spending thousands of dollars on furniture, because we already have it. So I never really imagined that things would be this great. I never really imagined that I would be pregnant at 20, and that I would be a mom at 21. The cool part is, I guess, there is an upside. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, life. But 21-year-olds typically on their birthday want to go out and have a drink, which is what I imagined myself doing. But I'm gonna be a mom instead. So life is life. Life happens. No one's life is perfect. If you think your life is perfect, you are sadly mistaken. I think it's a blessing. I think it kind of saved me in a couple ways. I wasn't, doing hard drugs or, going out every night, but I wasn't a perfect person. I was definitely not treating my body the way I should have, and now I'm forced to. And I don't know. It is what it is. When my baby is my age, I'm going to be 40. So I'm going to be a good-looking mom. I guess that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Sorry if you've been hearing my parents upstairs this entire time. I promise you they're not fighting. They just are talking. That's how they talk. I'm gonna try to fix this lighting situation for my next video. I literally moved around this room maybe 50 times trying to figure out where I can film. Half the time I looked orange. I know I look like a ghost with green hair. It is what it is. I'm filming this on a MacBook, so beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, enough with my rambling because this video is so long already. But thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. Thanks.